Um, I am in Louisville, Kentucky, on the campus of the University of Kentucky.
Louisville.
Louisville,
Scratch that
okay,
one.
scratch it.
They'll kill you on this
University,
camera.
University of Louisville, right?
Yeah, University
Okay,
of Louisville.
Louisville.
That's a bad word on this camera.
Hi, I'm standing in the restaurant with NBA famous Griffith. You've probably heard of him as Dr. Dunkenstein. We are talking a little bit about a program that we just finished over at your alma mater elementary school,
Yeah.
the West End School.
West End School.
I was here for most of the week talking to the kids, trying to get this Legends and Kids Young Authors program started. Tell us a little bit about your idea of what the book can do for kids here and everywhere.
Well, it's very important that kids understand the importance of being able to read, and being able to create a book gets them excited about it and makes them passionate about reading, and that can spill over into the rest of their education, and knowing that how important reading is, and they can refer back to a book that we put together, and gets them inspired about taking reading seriously.
And in this book, this Legends and Kids Young Authors, this book is created by 3rd, 4th, and 5th graders at the school, I think all the way up to 6th graders at the West End School.
Right.
It's significant to us because that's the school that you attended as well, right?
Yes, I went to elementary school there. At the time I went to elementary school there, I grew up 4 blocks down the street. It was called Virginia Avenue Elementary School. And then over the years, it transitioned into a traditional school. And then they shut the school down. And after about 10 to 15 years, we decided to put the board together and start the Western School there.
And I couldn't help but notice the facility there, the Griffith Center.
The Darrell Griffith Athletic Center, right?
The Darrell Griffith Athletic Center.
It's a year old today.
Yeah, it's a fantastic facility, by the way. And for those of you that are out there in the Louisville area, if you're not in Louisville, if you're down this way, you got to stop in to see it. I just want to talk a little bit about the kids in the community and some of the contributions that you've made back into the community, including the center. But I just want to talk a little bit about the importance of a child that age, middle school, creating their own book, being published at that level. How does that impact kids, in your opinion?
Well, the impact of it is when a kid picks up a book to learn his studies, now he's got to understand how a book's put together. Whether it be the book that they did at the West End School, or whether what they're able to read, they got a connection, and that explores their mind. With them having a book and being able to put a book together and reading it, and it inspires them to hopefully want to read more, and which is important. And being able to, when you know your name's on a book and you did that book, you want to understand it more. You want to make sure that you comprehend it more. And this the learning process of comprehending the knowledge that comes out of a book. It carry over in all the other studies.
Well, I got to tell you, I'm excited about it. The West End School is a project that we're working here, and the kids thought a lot about this man when they started writing him in as the character. The title of the book is Dr. Derby Meets Dr. Dunkenstein and the Cavity Race. They are talking about the importance of oral health at a young age, and they are emphasizing that through their own creativity with these characters.
Right.
And I think that's important. It allows these children an opportunity to raise their self-esteem, to be creative, and at the same time learn all of the symbols in the state of Kentucky, take those symbols and create characters, and with those characters create a storyline and write the book and publish, and it's available on Amazon and all types of bookstores everywhere.
Well, the key word is having a kid at a young age to be able to have creativity in their mind, not to be narrow-minded and stale-minded, just to be able to explore your mind, and knowing that once you explore your mind and be creative, you can do anything. Putting a book together is major. You know, I never put a book together. I don't know if you have, but I never put a book together. And it's interesting and intriguing, and I think it sparks another value in their brain to do well.
Well, I am an author. I published a book, Fields of Success, and it took me 7 years to write it. And it's not an easy task, and it's very, very important for the parents and grandparents out there to know that your kids are in a position to publish their own book and have that done within 6 to 8 months.
That's awesome.
Yes, sir. I want to ask you one more question, but I want to take a little break here. We'll be back in just a moment. Okay, we're back with the man himself, Dr. Dunkenstein. Let me ask you this question. You know, the kids over at the West End School was talking about you, and they was developing their storyline. And one little kid said, you know, he touched so high, he touched the sky. That he jumped out, and we thought he wouldn't come back until the 4th of July. And they thought that was funny. I just got a question for me. How did you get that lateral jump like that?
It's just a God-given ability. There's nothing I did workout-wise to make me jump high. It's something that I was given.
And that's important. A lot of young kids out there, you are blessed and born with certain skills, and some of those skills come in athletics, some come in mentality. They can be surgeons. I always tell kids that when they want to play football, for instance, they have dreams to get to the National Football League. And I always tell them, listen, make sure that in that dream, you think about if you want to be on a team, fine, be the team doctor. You know, be the team's attorney. Be a part owner in the team. And the same thing with the NBA. I like to talk to these kids about the importance of education and how to behave. You know, you got to have the right type of attitude to get there. So I would like for you to say something to the kids about how important it is to be on a team, but in that mindset, get that education.
Well, first of all, what kids need to understand is that you're born into this world on a team. The first team that you're a part of is your family.
Thank you.
And then from your family team, hopefully you go to your church, and that's another team you go to. Then you go to school, and there's a series of teams that you always go through in life. Each grade you go to, each school you go to, each job you go to. Hopefully you don't have to go to a lot of jobs. And the most important thing that, in my mind, that kids need to understand is that you have to learn. Education is so important. For those kids who want to pursue a career in athletics, make that secondary. And make sure that you get your education, because there's no guarantee that you'll be a professional football, basketball player, or baseball player, or even be an entertainer. You got to have a plan A, and the plan A would always be your education, because if things don't work out for you in what you want to do, then you go back to your need, and it's education.
And just as important, even if you do play, say if you play in the league for 10 years, you know, if you come out of college and you're 20 years old, 30 years, you're 10 years in the league, your life's just starting.
Right.
I mean, so what you're going to do after you come out of a career of being an entertainer or an athlete, you got to start your life over in the real world, which we call.
Right.
And with that education, it makes sure you do that.
Well, you know, it's very important for those who have professional aspirations that you pay attention to how other people that you've seen or watched growing up, and you become a big fan of theirs. See how they exit their profession, whether it be football, basketball, baseball. And if you are blessed with the opportunity to go into the NBA or NFL, then you got to be thinking at that time, there's a couple things need to be on your mind. I need to make a real good impression on my craft, which is playing basketball. I'm going to use that as an example.
Right.
But in the same time, you're going to have a lot of time to do more than just play basketball. You need to start thinking about, what am I going to do after basketball? When you get in as a rookie, you know, and one of the most important things to do is for athletes, especially young athletes coming out of school, is learn how to manage your money. That's very important, because there's going to come a time to where if you got a long career and the contract stops and your deferred compensation kicks in and that stops, you need to be planning way ahead of that. You know, even when you first get into the league, you know, you gotta say, hey, I'm gonna be in this league 10, 12 years. What am I gonna do afterwards? From year one.
And you start making plans. Why are you in the league?
Right.
Or why are you on that stage
Absolutely.
entertaining?
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about your place here. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
We're located on the campus. And just tell us a little bit about, I mean, how did you migrate from, and this is one of the enterprises you have, but how did you get into, what was your journey into the business world?
Well, my journey into the business world started in college. Our kids in sport need to understand that everybody around you that want to be a part of you, most of them are already in business. Right. And you need to learn from them. Ask questions. My father always told me, never be afraid to ask a question. A question asked is something learned. So the intrigue of being in college and being around someone who owns a multi-billion dollar business, ask that man questions. Ask him how you got to that point. And every person that you meet during your athletic career, you have the luxury of being able to be around so many influential people that the ordinary person doesn't have.
Right.
Take advantage of that.
There you go.
And for my stake, I had some good people in my life. Their families was well off. They were in businesses. Their kids were in businesses, and they took me under my wing and on their wing, and they taught me a lot. So I had a business mindset from my freshman year because I was surrounded by people that were doing things. You know, and I wanted to get my family in a better situation, and it started my freshman year in college, and it just migrated throughout my college career and then my pro career. So, you know, I had two mindsets. You know, I had an educational and business mindset, and then I also had the athletic mindset. And you got to be able to balance the two. And you should have the two developed in your mind before you even get to the pros.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, I really appreciate it, and I hope you kids out there and grown folks alike listen to what the doctor is recommending. He said, study hard, go home, take a pill. I'm just joking. But serious business, we appreciate you taking the time to talk to us. And I got one more little question. We're going to go, and we'll be back after this. Ready? Okay, we're back with Mr. Darrell Griffith, known in the league and throughout the United States and the globe as Dr. Dunkenstein. Doctor, one other thing I want to talk a little bit about before we close out here is to talk about your business here.
Okay.
Tell me a little bit about the Griff and some of the things that you do in this community.
Well, Griff's Restaurant has been open a year today.
Right.
Well, I take that back. I'm sorry. We opened up in January. The West End School Darrell Griffith Athletic Center has been open up a year today.
For a year, right.
The Griff's Restaurant has been open up since January 26th. It was a concept that me and my partners talked about for 3 years, and the opportunity came facility-wise near campus, and it was just a natural fit. We had to develop the menu, create a good balanced menu for price-wise for the area, and also come up with a good decor that people know as soon as they walk into the door that they're in for a treat. And it's been working out. We've been blessed. Again, we've been open up since January, and business has far been doing greater than we ever thought.
It's laid out very well, and it has a sports theme. We have memorabilia here that's available for all the fans all over the place. I can see the kids now wearing number 35 all over this city. And for those of you that are out there, Griff is the kind of individual that most of us athletes wish to become, and that is a contributor back into the community, helping our children to be better citizens. I hope you get a copy of the book, Dr. Derby Meets Dr. Dunkenstein and the Cavity Race. We'll be back in just a moment.